We are back.
Hi.
Live. Another week in Dayton.
Not really live.
We made it alive. Well, we're live
We're
now.
alive.
When you guys see this, it will have been recorded.
Yes.
Yes. Because the bandwidth sucks in Dayton, and live streaming is just all like...
Yeah.
And it ain't working. So, we have many subjects we have spoken with in our pre-production meetings.
What?
Of
Okay.
possible discussion. A lot of things to talk about, but the big controversy this week, a lot of people fired up, was
X-Fest?
X-Fest going down the tubes. Dirk Roburn, Dayton celebrity. I think he's like an author and a juggler of some sort, like those fire swords, and he writes children's books, and he's been in a couple Hollywood films too. Dirk Roburn.
Sweet.
Not a whole people know about him, but he was really, really disappointed because he wanted to rock out.
Right.
But X-Fest is no fest, no mo fest, and I think it's pretty much run its course.
Yeah, it's pretty 90s. It's the dream of the 90s. I can understand why X-Fest would be canceled because they have the Dayton Revival thing like a couple weekends later, or very close.
Or it might even be the same weekend. I don't know.
So
doesn't matter now.
That's a lot of, well,
no
it's
mo.
irrelevant, yeah. But that would have been a lot of money to ask of people. It's like they would have to pick and choose.
Yeah, but I don't think it's really the same crowd. I think the X-Fest is like more your...
Hard.
like kind of skinny pimply kid from Riverside with some fresh tattoos and
Okay.
a lot of screaming, a lot of
Teenage angst.
Yeah, a lot of angst, a lot of that kind of thing. Yeah, a lot of bulls in China shop, like behavior going on, like getting it all out.
I see.
And,
okay, different crowd. So I don't know.
The crowd grew up, I guess.
Maybe.
The old X-Fest crowd.
I mean, X-Fest started in the 90s, didn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, it's been a long time. So, I don't know.
Yeah. No mo X-Fest.
No skin off my back.
Now it's the Dayton Revival. And I'm not sure if there's any gospel groups. I would love to see Robert Tilton paired up with Steve Earle. But that's just me. What do you think about the Dayton Revival? Are you going?
No.
I'm not either. The Dayton Revival did not answer our media pass request to cover the Dayton Revival.
I'm not paying $60. And then with you $60, that would be $120 for us to go.
Yeah.
No, I'm not doing that. Forget it. You know.
Got the cash. I would love to have the cash.
Well, yeah, I mean, I would love that'd be great. But I don't. So.
So the people who are there are going to possess
money
at least $120
if they want to go with somebody.
Yeah, if they're packing their own water or beer on themselves,
which you probably cannot do, right?
Yeah. So and you got to spend,
$8 for probably a cup of beer, I would imagine.
It's probably less than that.
Oh, but, I don't know. Things are getting pretty steep these days.
Yeah. So we shall reserve judgment of the music festival and how it went.
See what happens.
A lot of people on our Facebook page have said, no, won't be going. It's too much. Once you do get inside, then you're basically captive to the vendors. People are worried about it's going to block off areas of the downtown.
Where is it now going to be?
There's several blocks downtown. I'm not going to sit here and name all of them.
But the main, never mind. I guess I'm going to have several stages.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I just think it's overpriced. I think that they took off. I think it could have been, cooler if it was actually, local, not, big name act bands included. You just had,
Yeah, the argument on the other end is, you wouldn't be able to get a crowd out like that. You'd be able to get your 50 local music fans to come out to something like that.
Well, there's some... I don't know. I don't know. I just think it's too much to ask for people. People can't afford it in this time. People are,
We shall see
Yeah.
if the masses answer and show up en masse.
well, when the
Fill
masses,
that place up, and they're rocking down to the tunes.
yeah, the people that got a couple $100 extra to blow, they'll be there.
That's the requirement. A couple extra $100.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Because
so-
if you want to eat or have something to
if you
drink,
want to enjoy yourself, you want to go listen to music,
yeah,
eat, drink,
Yeah.
be like a comfortable human.
right.
Yeah, you're gonna have to. So that we figured out who's coming. People with $200.
At least.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the Dayton Jerk of the Week.
I'm scared to guess.
Who's the Jerk of the Week? Can you guess?
Well, a couple of people come to mind, but I don't know if you're talking about people or organizations. So I'm not going to guess.
Okay, Swami says Joe Reinhardt.
Okay.
You know who Joe Reinhardt is? He's the chief engineer for the Miami Conservancy District,
Okay.
who was quoted in the Dayton Daily News last week as to why they decided to cut a bunch of 75-year-old trees down that lined the river walkway there across from McPherson Town.
I know.
Which were
Riverview.
greatly loved by many people. And he cited a federal guidelines and an Ohio State Administrative Code bureaucratic pamphlets, if you will, not law, not revised code, as to the reason why they were tearing down these trees. And then we found out later these Army Corps of Engineers' own studies as to whether trees on river levees affect the stability of river levees. Said it still needed to be studied. Nevertheless, trees have been going.
Oh, it looks so sad.
It looks just like.
Oh my goodness.
It looks like nature rape.
Yeah, it's really bad. It looks really sad.
Yeah, and Joe Reinhardt, you really, I just have to say it, you really made a lot of people's lives worse with your decision. So, yeah, Miami Conservancy District, you scored no points this week.
Yeah, I'm going to say that it doesn't help Dayton to cut
Brondo
down
to you.
trees. That was a really nice visual thing there. Of course, those trees were old. They're trees. We need trees.
Oh, yeah. Trees are
They're
so valuable
old
to see.
trees. They were
And they had
beautiful.
caused no problem before.
They were beautiful.
You know, there's no problem with them falling down and
No.
taking big chunks out of them, and McPherson Town getting a 1913 treatment.
Yeah, I think it was
Seemed to
a
me
bad
roots
decision.
would like kind of strengthen
Yeah.
that dirt and keep it all like I gotcha, because that's
Yeah.
kind of like the root system is like hugging the dirt all the time, like for dear life, because
Right.
the dirt is its sustenance. And
Right.
yeah, poo on Joe Reinhardt.
Yeah.
I hope you can redeem yourself in this lifetime.
I think that
because,
ruins how that part of the river looks right there.
Oh yeah,
You know?
just rotten.
It does. Looks terrible.
Yeah. Food trucks. And according to Fressa owner Matt Halpin, my apologies, Matt, I misspelled your name originally. I said it was Todd. Anyway, Matt Halpin, owner of Fressa Food Truck, was told by city officials, at least according to him in our interview with him, which you can see in the link down below, that his food truck was not allowed to operate in the parking lot near Sabai, right behind the neon movie theaters, or over on the street where those parking meters are.
During the film festival.
During the Dayton Film Festival. And it sparked all kinds of passionate emotions, and there's like a 1,700 person and growing like Facebook page for food
trucks for Dayton.
And my first reaction to this is that this is an argument, number one, shows how completely out of touch city leadership and city officials are. Because we're in the middle of an economic
Depression,
tsunami, train storm here in Dayton, Ohio. You know, there may be other areas of the country that are much more prosperous, but very few places were hit as hardcore as Dayton, Ohio. And the lack of business that goes on right now, any sort of economic activity that is legal should be encouraged with all means necessary.
absolutely.
Whether it is a guy selling sandwiches out of a bicycle cart, or people setting up fruit stands, we need people to get money rolling into the economy. We need to let up on what we can and cannot do.
Well, this shows a lot of the things that the city does wrong often. Seems like somebody comes up with an idea, and for some reason it's always shot down. Like, Dayton's just really not progressive, but, you know, how...
Not completely true, but I think they've done some progressive things, but there's people that are just like, please, come on,
but like,
to the progressive side.
You got people complaining about the competition, it's too much competition for the restaurants. Well, look, the city often builds things and makes plans for people that have more wealth.
Yes.
Well, the majority of the city is not in that category. Yet those people still have money to go and spend for entertainment, for nights out to eat, yada yada, to buy stuff. You know, everyone buys stuff. Having food truck options for people. I mean, for various reasons. Often they cost less. The convenience
Promotes diversity in food. It's an option for people who want. A lot of times, these guys are all about locally sourcing their food. The whole food truck movement is a very progressive thing. You see it out when we were in New York City. There's food trucks everywhere.
And look, if you're
and there's no shortage of restaurants there. They make each other better, I think.
There's restaurants with a food truck right outside the front.
Yeah, and they serve a totally different purpose.
Absolutely. Like, if you're looking to go out and sit down and eat and, like, have drinks at a table and chairs, then you're not going to be like, oh, there's a food truck, I'm going to eat there instead.
Yeah.
Like, you're not going to make that decision because that's not offering you what you're going out to look for.
And plus, food trucks can offer neighborhoods that do not have the option of any kind of dining experience that's worthwhile, past
which is so many
fast food or bread and gravy
and
in
chain
a lot of
restaurants.
places.
Yeah,
and they can bring that to places. Taco stands.
Right.
There's a little taco stand off of East Third that's fantastic. We need to encourage diversity in food. They need the only test they need to pass is the test with the county inspector.
Health code, yeah.
Make sure their stuff is clean and not like giving anyone botulism. I think they would be a welcome addition.
I don't think they're going to hurt.
They're only going to help.
Yeah.
And like the guy said, he said, why doesn't Thai 9? Why doesn't Lynn's? Why doesn't Delish or Coco's or any place, Olive? Why don't they have their own food truck? They could be reaching out to all kinds of new audiences. We could have a food truck festival. We could go to different neighborhoods and say, hey, we're going to be in the the parking lot of wherever in Brookville. Eat some Rue du Maine. Start making people a little smarter about food, and
much more diverse.
Yeah, and ultimately it comes down to this: who's got the best food?
Right. People are going to make their choices.
If a food truck's food is so good that everyone's lining up at the food truck and not going to the place where you get full service, then your food's not good enough.
Right.
If a guy with a tiny kitchen can outcook you with, all the, all the shelves and the storage and the refrigeration and all that stuff right there, grills and yada yada, then you're not.
Then make better food. Big cities like, New York, Toronto, Chicago, you see food trucks everywhere.
Yeah, they're just
And
a
it's
reality,
not,
and it makes, and they enhance the whole scene.
And even though we don't have the same population size that those cities have, like I said before, there's still people that have money that need to have options.
Yes, and another plus of food trucks, crime fighting.
That's true. People
You got
on the
legitimate
street,
businessmen out on the street,
right?
watching what's going
Getting
down,
to know people who
getting
are
to
around.
know people, seeing what's going on.
That's true.
And characters don't like to operate when there's
When they
lots
can be
of
eyeballs.
light
Yeah.
on the street, and we get more people out on the street. There's more eyeballs on the street, and the cockroaches go away. It's just that easy.
Right.
Why are these things so hard, Dayton? Why?
I've done everything you've asked me to do. I can't do it anymore. Can you purify me? Will you get out of my head and into my stomach? Purify me.